Hi, welcome. Simon here and hope you're doing well. In this video, I'll be doing a screen replacement on an iPhone XR. As you can see that the entire screen is just all gone except the bottom left here and a little bit here on the side. If you pay attention to the top left corner here, right next to the ear speaker, you can see that little flashing light. That is the Face ID recognition, and it's trying to recognize and logged in. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm not able to turn off the phone, so I will be disconnect the battery. First, I need to get a pentalobe P2. We need to remove the two screws here right next to the charging port. You also see that the bottom left right at the speaker here, there's an indent to it on the screen. So that was the problem that make the phone screen just went bad. Alright, once you have removed the two screws, I'm using a metal prying tool. As you can see, this is the metal prying tool. I'll be sticking in between that screen and the base of the phone. So what I'm doing right now is to kind of cut the adhesive. So this is where I'm cutting off the adhesive here. The phone is water sealed, meaning that the adhesive prevents the water from getting in as well as the dust. So this metal prying tool is to separate that adhesive so that we can replace the screen. Once you have cut up the adhesive, what you want to do is to turn the phone to your right, opening up like a book. Well, the other way around it, sorry. Book is to the left, this is to the right. And holding it at 90-degree angle, like such. The next step is to get yourself a Try screwdriver or the little wide tip screwdriver. We are going underneath this little L shape here to remove and disconnect, or disconnect the battery, not to remove the battery. So there are 3 screws, 1, 2, and the third one here. Once you have disconnected, remove the 3 screws. I'm using a plastic prying tool to just somewhat kind of pry open the little bracket. And this little connector here is the battery. So go ahead and just pry it up. That's how you disconnect the battery. The next step, using the Try screwdriver again, the little white tip, we are going to remove 2 screws. And that 2 screws is to holding on to the LCD screen. So remove the 2 screws, get a plastic to move that bracket, and go underneath that connector and disconnect that 2 little cable. Now here in the front, as you can see that the ear speaker and proximity sensor is still connected to that. I'm using a Phillips screwdriver. This is the 1.5 millimeter. That's the size of the Phillips. We are removing that screw here on the top right corner. Remove that, put it on the side. I'm using the Y screwdriver, the little Try tip. You have to remove 3 more screws. And the last screw here on the top left corner. So there are 4 screws in total holding down to that bracket. Once you have removed that, the next step is to use the plastic prying tool to kind of get underneath that bracket there. And then slide it out, because that little metal here, it is still holding on to the bracket. Once you have removed that, you can now disconnect this cable. Be very careful with it because this metal piece is in the way. Okay, once you have disconnected that proximity sensor, the ear speaker in the front, you're pretty much all set. The next step is to transfer that proximity sensor over to the new screen. So here on the top left corner, I will be, let me bring it closer, I will be removing that screw. Okay. And then the other three, 1, 2, and 3, they run on a Phillips screwdriver. So remove that, and the very bottom left as well. Once you have removed all the 4 screws, what I like to do is, I want you to pay attention to it. This little clipper, this little clip, it has to come off. Okay, there's a little clip right there, has to come off and transfer over. I think that is the grounding process. And then the next step is to separate the entire plastic here. If you have hard time doing such, you might want to get a metal prying tool, kind of go underneath that plastic and separate them together. Okay, once you have done with that process, here comes the new screen. This is the old screen. We're going to put it on the side. Now the new screen does not have the bracket pre-installed, so it is good to just replace with the bracket that was from the old screen. There's a little plastic here. Let me peel that off. Okay, put it back together. And what I like to do is I like to transfer this little metal bracket. I think it's the grounding purpose of it. Let's go ahead and reconnect back to that little metal right in the center. Okay. Okay, just hold it right there. And I'm going to reconnect them back just like such. And then close it down and hold it together. Okay, once you have done with that process, you then now can have the screw go back all together. So there are 3 screws in total. For the little Phillip, start with the top right corner. Comes at the bottom right corner, the bottom left corner, and that little tri screw on the top right corner, top left corner, sorry. Okay, and we are ready to transfer that new screen over to the back to the phone. So first I like to do is to slide it in. They're just like Lego. You slide it in and push it down. Make sure you have them aligned properly before you press it down. Do not force it. It doesn't take a lot of pressure. You just have to make sure that the connector is on top and just kind of gently press it in. Once you have done with that process, I like to slide. You want to slide it in first. Go underneath that little metal bracket. Slide it in. Holding it down. And now you can put the screws in together. The top right corner is the little Phillip, and then the other rest, the 3, the regular tri screwdriver, the tri screw, the little Y screw. Once you have done with that process, I then can reconnect the battery cable, which is here. Get that little bracket going back underneath that flex cable. Like such. And there are 3 screws holding down the bracket. So let's go ahead and put them back together. You might want to fold that little flex cable underneath to get onto the very top on that side of it. Okay, and here comes the bracket for this. This bracket here is to holding down the LCD screen cable. Sorry, I'm having some hard time here. Okay, once you're done with that process, you then now should kind of slide the one on the top here first. Go to slide it back in. Just making sure that the plastic is above the peel. Okay, slide it in, and I will then crunch it down on the side. I might have some difficulty here because the metal is inward, so I'm going to kind of gently level a little bit and push it back in. Now I can put the 2 screws back together here. This is Pentelope P2 screwdriver. Put it back together. And let me turn on the phone. There you go. The Apple logo is coming back up. So as you can see that the phone should be working condition. And yeah, so if you have any question, comment down below. And if you're not sure where to buy the replacement screen or the tools, please check the link down description below. I'll link it down to Amazon or eBay where you can find a replacement screen. The phone is still booting up. I just want to make sure that I'm not showing any of the picture of the customer's phone. So as you can see that the flashing for the Face ID still works, and everything should be normal for you. All right, so thanks for watching. Until next time, bye now.